The name's Bond. James Bond.
You're a wizard, Harry.
I drink your milkshake.
You can't handle the truth.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa!
Alright everybody, welcome back to another episode of the movie Mafia. As you can see, we're all here, all together for the first time, all four of us. I'm super excited to get this episode going. We have a ton of stuff to talk about. This is our New Year's special episode. A little bit late, but we had to let some time for New Year's and Christmas to wear off. So, speaking of all that, how has your guys' New Year's been? You guys do anything fun?
Just chilling. I was trying to learn how to DJ, on a
DJ?
turntable. My friends have all the equipment, so I'm trying to learn.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know what it's all called. I'm the worst.
We shot off fireworks on New Year's Eve, and then New Year's Eve day, I went to the movies, and that was a lot of fun. What about you, Max?
I just relaxed and watched some sports, honestly. That was just chill, relaxing New Year's for sure.
Yeah, I was thinking, am I gonna stay up to when the ball drops this year? It's a big year. It's 2020, finally done this year. And I look around and my brother's asleep at 10 o'clock. Same thing with both my parents. I'm like, okay, never mind. I'm just gonna go to my room. But uneventful New Year's over here at my house. But hopefully, the bad ghosts of 2020 are gone now, and we can look forward to 2021. But before we can completely shut the door on 2020, we do have to talk a little bit about our favorite movies from the past year. Some good came out of 2020. There has to be a little bit of good. So I want to hear your guys' list. So each of you prepared your own little lists for your favorite movies or shows from this past year. So here, Max, why don't you kick it off for us? What do you got for your favorite stuff from 2020?
So I'll do movies first for me.
Go ahead.
So I have my top five. My number 5 is Safety, which is a Disney Plus, their most recent original film, football film, true story, really emotional, and didn't think it was a true story that I should have known about as a big sports fan, but didn't. And that's why I really loved the film as well. My number 4 is Onward, that a lot of people are kind of forgetting about Onward in 2020. I actually really enjoyed that, and the messages of brotherhood really spoke to me. For having a brother and all that type of stuff. The Five Bloods is number 3 for me, a Netflix film that I absolutely loved from Spike Lee. I still think Delroy Lindo is the best performance of the entire year, and Chadwick Boseman should be nominated for supporting actor as well from the movie. My number 2 is Trial of the Chicago 7 from Aaron Sorkin. That's the best cast of the entire year so far. When you have Sacha Baron Cohen, Eddie Redmayne, Mark Rylance, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Michael Keaton, just all these big actors gave a really great performances. And then Soul is my number 1. I love Soul. Even though it's not top tier Pixar for me, I still love the movie. The animation's great. And it was a movie that we all kind of needed to end 2020 on. That positive movie about reflecting on your life. I thought Soul was really great. So should I just do movies? Or you want me to do my shows now too? Whatever you want.
Sure, yeah, go ahead. Let's hear a few of your shows.
A few of my shows, I haven't really thought about a ranking, so I'll just name my favorite shows. Obviously, The Mandalorian really spoke to me this past season. I really thought it was way better than season 1, and I did love The Mandalorian. Lovecraft Country, one of the more unique shows I saw this year. It was on HBO, sci-fi show with really great performances from Jonathan Majors and Journey Smollett, really great. The Haunting of Bly Manor, didn't know I needed another part of the Haunting series because I loved Hill House. But Bly Manor is a lot better than what people are talking about. I really love the show, even though it really isn't scary this season. I did love this show. Insecure, another fun comedy on HBO that I really, really loved. I'm trying to think of anything else. And Ozark, I think, has been the best season of television this year. That it kind of got forgotten about because it came out literally once the pandemic started. But we're getting 2 10-episode parts now for the finale season. Such an epic show with great acting. So yeah, those are my shows and movies of the year.
That's an excellent list. Really great list. And I'm glad you mentioned Ozark because I too basically forgot about Ozark. It felt like it happened last year. I felt like it happened 2 years ago. So it's crazy, but great show. Absolutely love Ozark. Who wants to go
Yeah,
next?
I agree. Ozark is great. Is
Yeah.
there another season?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, they're doing like 2 parts, like 2 10-episode or 8-episode parts of the last season. So pretty excited about it.
I really liked your movie list. Like, I feel like it's very similar to mine.
Well, go ahead, Gabrielle. Let's hear your list.
Okay. So my number 5 is Mulan, that got released on Disney Plus. That movie I thought was really good. I first watched the animated version and then watched like the live action version. Absolutely amazing. I loved it. My 4th in the same spot as Max's is Onward. That movie, we watched it as a family at my house because it was kind of right in the beginning of quarantine. So we watched it as a family. My mom and I were sobbing with each other. It was very cute at the end. I absolutely loved it. Number 3 is Soul. Just like Max said, something we needed. We talked about it last week. Absolutely still love that movie. Number 2 is Promising Young Woman. I just saw it in theaters this past weekend. What an incredible movie. Oh my God, I could talk about it for hours. And my 1st is Birds of Prey that came out in January, something like that. I think came out right there. Saw it on my birthday. Love that movie. I thought it was great. And then I also have 2 honorable mentions, and I think it says a lot about me. I have an honorable mention of Trolls World Tour. Saw that movie with my cousin. Honestly, I loved it. If there's anything I like more than movies, it's music. And Trolls World Tour had a lot of music. So, and then Hamilton, that also got released on Disney Plus because like I saw the play and then it got like put into like a movie. So I love that. So those are my 2 honorable mentions as well.
I'm not surprised you have Birds of Prey as your number 1. I remember that was your favorite from our last episode talking about those Warner Brothers movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. For me, I think your list is great. I'm like I said, I'm so predictable for you to have Birds of Prey there, but I love it.
I'm so predictable, and my whole list really is so me. Almost all of them are Disney movies, which says so much.
Yeah. I mean, and my list is I think I'm gonna have a movie on here that not many people might have watched or might have really remembered. But my top list, I couldn't find all that many movies that really spoke to me this past year, so I kind of merged my movies and shows into one list for 2020. But I loved Birds of Prey, and my movie The Invisible Man I thought was really underrated. I thought The Invisible Man was really good, surprisingly good. Um, I don't think enough people give that movie credit. But other than that, I put a few shows in here, like The Boys season 2 was awesome this year. Super excited for a season 3. I don't think they've confirmed anything with that yet, but it was so successful. I'd have to imagine it's coming back. And then Brooklyn Nine-Nine had their 7th season this past year as well. There's a lot of worries about Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I think it's an amazing show, and they do such a good job with it. But with the police element of the show, there was a lot of worries about with police brutality in real life, and how is that going to translate to Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Is the show going to come back? What's going to happen? So a lot of the show was up in the air, and I just wanted to put out there that I think it's an amazing show, and they do a great job with it. And then that's 4. So just to round out my list, I don't love putting this here, but we'll just throw Wonder Woman 1984 in. A little too recent. It was fine.
Look at that.
It rounds out the list. It gets
had
in.
a discussion, and you weren't really into it. It's in your top 5 of the year.
Yeah, and that should say something about 2020. We need to. After this segment, I'm shutting the door.
What about
on
Tiger
2020.
King?
I never watched Tiger King.
Tiger King.
Remember Tiger King? Like that was a time.
No.
Tiger King. Tiger King era of quarantine. Debate me was the best era of quarantine.
It was fun. I was chilling. Should I go next?
Yeah, go ahead. What's your list?
Okay, I'm gonna put the octopus movie. My octopus teacher, like I just forgot like how big the ocean was, so now I want to go swimming. And yeah, octopus was so cute. I'm not gonna spoil the ending, but then there are little octopus babies, and they're like this big. What else did I like? Oh, Queen's Gambit was so good. Like that one, that gets a thing. Also loved like Ozark and Bly Manor. Like after like Hill House to Bly Manor, it was so
Yeah,
good.
agreed.
I also watched Travelers like the other week, and I watched like all 3 seasons back to back, and that was really good. I love time travel, so and then I also like Lucifer because he's funny. I don't know if you guys watched that one.
Yeah, I probably should have
He's a
mentioned that in.
character.
I probably should have mentioned
Um, we love a dark character as our protagonist. Like we stand. And then I'm excited for new Dexter. I think there's like a Black Widow movie coming.
that.
I
Oh,
feel like that's a
yes,
thing.
Yes, I did. I put
That
that in
that
my
keeps getting
20s.
pushed back.
Oh, but I want it like now. So I think season 4 of Stranger Things is gonna come to Netflix this year. And
They
we
said
love
it was going to come out in 2020, but 2021 instead. But I'm excited.
And then I did watch The Witcher the
Oh,
other week. So then I guess there's another season coming, which would be
Yep.
cool. And then we also, you mentioned before, there's a new season of You, I think season 3.
yes.
It'll be coming out.
Yep.
So yeah, so much TV to watch.
No doubt, no doubt. Yeah, I'm right there with being excited for all that stuff for 2021. You know, like I said, my 2020 list is very poor, so I'm can't wait to throw that away and get into 2021. Like you said, I'm super excited for You season 3. Penn Badgley, hopefully I pronounced his name right, is a star. He's awesome in You, so I can't wait for him to come back. And God knows Netflix needs something on their show after losing The Office. We'll talk about all that to Peacock and losing a bunch of their other shows too. Did you want to say something, Max?
Step in because I actually really enjoyed this year of film. Actually, I thought streaming services had a really good year in movies. I'm someone who commits myself to watching every Netflix movie that comes out, and I think they had a better year than usual. A lot more films that are not just the basic, because a lot of Netflix films do fall into that category that I watched throughout the year of the rom-coms that you've seen a billion times, but a lot of good all over the place content. Superhero, they're really building a great action template with Extraction and The Old Guard this year. So I did like this year. Obviously, it wasn't a great year, but I'm saying for film, I think there's some positives to come out of film this year for sure. And now this year is going to be great because everything that got pushed is added on to an already good 2021 slate. But I still think that this year, for what it was, I thought it was actually a pretty solid year for movies, in my opinion.
Fair enough. I might be a little overly critical, but I always have you to make sure, keep me honest. But yeah. So like I was saying, yeah, just same. I'm just in line with Lauren for my stuff. I'm excited for 2021. You season 3, the Dexter reboot, The Witcher season 2, also Sex Education season 3. I cannot wait. Sex Education is so funny. It is awesome. A great Netflix original. And then, of course, I'm excited for some of the superhero movies. We got the Robert Pattinson Batman movie, Spider-Man 3, James Gunn's take on Suicide Squad. Hopefully he can make that repay the travesty of the original 2015 Suicide Squad. And then the Venom movie, Let There Be Carnage. I thought the Venom movie from, 2018 was really good. It wasn't an amazing movie, but I thought it was hilarious and really enjoyable to watch. So I'm excited to see what they can do for the next movie. I think it'll definitely take a step down, but we'll see. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking for 2021. Gabrielle, what do you think? What are you excited for 2021?
Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish has a documentary coming out in 2021 that is at the top of my list. I saw her promote that, I think, back in November, October. It was a while ago, and I completely forgot about it until I went to the movies this weekend and I saw a promo on it, and I was like, oh my God! I started freaking out all over again, just like I did when she announced it. So that is the #1 movie documentary thing I'm looking forward to in 2021. But besides that,
I completely forgot that was a thing. Thank you for reminding me.
I know. Like I said, I completely forgot about it. She announced it. I freaked out for about a week, and then it just slipped my mind, and now it's back, and that's all I'm thinking about. So we're excited for that. And then the new Pixar movie, Luca. I've only seen a couple of trailers here or there, and I know it's in the works, and I know that's coming out in 2021. So I'm excited for that because I'm a big Disney fan. And speaking of Disney, Raya the Last Dragon. That movie is from the creators of Moana, Frozen, and Frozen 2. And all three of those movies are top Disney to me. Like, they're some of my favorite movies. So Raya the Last Dragon, I'm hoping like fits in with that. It seems like a very action-packed movie. She like slays dragons and has like swords, and I don't know. I've seen a trailer for it and I'm just really excited for it. And then Cinderella, that's a whole thing we're gonna talk about later in the show. But that movie, the new one, it's like a musical, and James Corden directs it. So I'm very excited to see what that movie brings. And then Black Widow, because as I think everyone found out from the last podcast, I'm very like women superheroes, feminism. So Black Widow, I'm very excited to see its take on that.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm right with you on Black Widow. Super excited for that as well. Yeah, Max, do you have a few movies or shows you're excited for the upcoming year?
Yeah, I have a couple for sure.
Cool.
Mission Impossible 7 is coming out this year, and I believe that this is the best action franchise out there. The last one in 2018 was my favorite action films of all time. I love Mission Impossible, even though there's controversy now, which, choose your sides there, but I am pumped for the film to come out. I'm also pumped for No Time to Die. Bond was supposed to come out right after the pandemic started. And Daniel Craig, in my opinion, is the best Bond, and this is his last film, so it's going to be epic. And I really can't wait for it. As I said, all the MCU and DC films, I'm always going to be in the theater, ready to go. In the Heights is coming out this year, and I think that was his theater project before Hamilton, and seeing that become a movie itself, not just a stage play movie, a movie itself is exciting. And then A Quiet Place 2. I mean, A Quiet Place 1 was my favorite movie of that year. So the sequel literally was a week after the pandemic started. It was supposed to come out. So I'm so annoyed that it got delayed. For me, Dickinson season 2 comes out this week on Apple TV. So that's what I'm getting ready for TV wise for the next couple of weeks. So yeah, that's for me.
Awesome. Great list. All right. Well, now that we've talked a little bit about our what we liked from 2020 and what we're hoping for 2021, I did want to get your guys' input on, assuming that everything goes right with COVID and that we're kind of on the back end of that. Obviously, you never know how all the situation is going to turn out. But in a post-COVID world, what do you guys think about, movie theaters opening back up? Obviously, it seems like they're going to come back at some point, and they sort of are starting to do that now. There's still a couple theaters that are open. But do you think we're ever going to return to where movie theaters were, where they were extremely popular and everyone was going there for these new movie releases? Or do you guys think it's going to be more of like a hybrid thing where a lot of movies are going to get released on streaming services and it's going to stay that way?
I feel like it has to change a bit. Like if the movie theater business comes back and does exactly what they did before, like people aren't really going to bite as much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I feel like they need to come back with like a change or something new to get people excited about leaving the house again.
And I know on that, I know AMC is already starting to do something like that where you can rent out an entire movie theater for $100 and you get to bring 20 people and you get to go watch a movie of your choice. Like right now, as of now, they have for $100 the Christmas movies, like all the Christmas classics, like Elf, National Lampoon's Christmas, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, like all of those classic Christmas movies. And for $250, you can watch one of the newer movies, so like Wonder Woman, Promising Young Woman, Croods 2, like that kind of thing. So I know this weekend, my family, we decided to do the $100 one. We watched National Lampoon's Christmas. We brought 20 people, and it was completely awesome. Like I even brought my dog, and he just sat and chilled in the chair. And I know that's like a big change, but it was a lot of fun. And I've been telling people about it, and like, wow, we're gonna have to go there because I know AMC filed for bankruptcy. So I'm trying to do my part and support the movie theater business because I love going to the movies. So.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say because I'm in Los Angeles, and honestly, movie theater business can't go forward without the New York and Los Angeles markets being opened up. They're two by far of the most money making places for theaters in the world. So until those two things open up, I don't really see a future yet. And here in LA, it's literally the worst thing for COVID. We're on complete lockdown. We haven't had any movie theaters open since the pandemic started. So it's so great hearing you talk about your movie theater experience because, again, I haven't been in one in March, but I agree. I think the movie theater experience and the way movies are treated, because we know Universal now has a 17-day deal now where they put their movies in theaters for 2 weeks and then it goes straight to streaming. So do people want to wait those 2 weeks for streaming or go to the theater? I'm personally, I think we talked about this before. I am on AMC A list, so I used to go to the theaters 3 times a week. So the fact that we're at a point where theaters could, obviously I'm a big supporter also of indie movie theaters, theaters where they're not putting in those blockbuster films. You got to support those types of theaters a lot too, because those are the ones that are currently going out of business at the moment, the ones that are showing independent films. So it's a lot going wrong, but I mean, this seems like we're on the turning point, on the cusp of everyone getting this vaccine in the next couple of months. So like, I'm kind of hoping by the end of 2021 we have a future for theaters, but it definitely doesn't look bright right now for sure.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. I really am worried that these streaming services are just going to take the power they have now and they're not going to really give it up back to the movie theaters. Um, I'm worried that it's going to stay like this for a while. I love going to the movie theaters. I think it's a great opportunity to, go on a date there or just spend some time to hang out with your friends there. It's also just a nice experience. I mean, there's something about buying overpriced popcorn, but having the whole experience, driving out there, hanging out with a buddy or whoever, and enjoying a great movie with a whole group of
Yeah.
people. It's a lot of fun, and I think we'd be remiss to kind of exclude movie theaters from the movie watching experience. And I know for now that's necessary, with COVID. But I'm hoping that when that starts to change, movie theaters are able to come back, and people are still comfortable to go to movie theaters.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and on the overpriced popcorn, I got 2 bags of them because I went to the movies twice this weekend, and I have never been happier. Something about the buttery popcorn. Oh, I was so happy. I was like a pig in shit.
Yeah, and I also wanted to add on too, and for watching all these streaming movies, some of them you're like, yeah, I could watch this on streaming. Don't need to go to the theater for this. But even though I didn't love Wonder Woman, you could feel some sequences that you could have loved to seen on a theater in IMAX or something like that. And I think that the HBO Max deal, putting all those big time movies on streaming, could be a disservice to those movies because even in Wonder Woman and sometimes even in Soul, you're like, I wish I could see this in the theater. And that's why those two films were such a huge test heading into this year for sure.
No doubt, I totally agree with you. Um, all right, well, moving on from a little bit of the movie theater aspect of it, with these specific streaming services, we have so many popping up all over the place. Be it Disney Plus. Obviously, we've had Netflix for a while, Hulu, HBO Max, Peacock just got the rights for The Office. All, and there's plenty of other ones that I haven't even mentioned. So, what do you guys think about these? These overabundance of streaming services. Are we kind of? Do you guys feel like the market for these streaming services is being a little bit overcrowded, to where it's like, hey, I'm cool going to one movie theater to see a movie, but now it feels like I have to go to 10 different movie theaters. All these different streaming services, you have to subscribe to each one to get their movies, or their shows, or whatever. Um, I think it's a little bit overkill. What do you guys think about the plethora of streaming services we have?
It would be
I mean,
nice if everything
yeah.
was in one place, but it's not.
Yeah, I totally
We can
agree.
make a monopoly.
Yeah, we got to make our own streaming service where we just have everything. That's the answer.
Yeah. But I think like as an audience member, it is kind of entertaining because all these streaming services are fighting to put out great content for us. I mean, yeah, we can't all pay for every single thing. I do have a lot of them, but it sometimes is a lot to connect with because you're trying to get to watch all the newest stuff, but sometimes something bigger is happening on another streaming service and you're missing something else. But I mean, for as an audience member, it's fun because there's so much content just everywhere, and there's stuff for everyone. So I personally, as an audience member, love it. Business wise, it's not the greatest thing to have all these streaming services going at each other. Even though Netflix is the clear, they're the ones to beat who've been doing it for a decade plus. So and all these streaming services just debuted about a year ago at least. So yeah, they got to catch Netflix. So that's gonna take a long time to catch for sure.
No doubt. Yeah. I just look at my bank account and I'm like, geez, HBO Max, Hulu,
Yeah.
Netflix. Oh my God, and Peacock has The Office now. What is going on? All these different shows, all these different streaming services. I do understand what you're saying, though. I do actually like that point of that you made, that each streaming service is competing with each other more, and I do totally think that competition ultimately drives success. And where there's a lack of competition, you typically see lower quality.
Yeah.
So I definitely want that type of thing. I do think, though, it's a little bit annoying to have to pay for all these streaming services. For example, paying for Peacock when some people are only paying for it just for The Office. A show that um, that was on Netflix for the longest time. It's not something that no one has watched before. It's not like an original type thing. But it is what it is. I suppose times are changing, so they're capitalizing on it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. And I also know that like I only pay for Disney Plus, but I have Netflix. It's my uncle's. I have Peacock, and that's free with my Xfinity subscription. Like, so we pay for cable. But so now I know that Peacock is like we have like a I don't really know what it is, but we have Peacock, so now I get to watch The Office. I'm so happy. I have Hulu. That's my grandmother's. Like I share, like my whole family, like we all kind of just like share streaming services. So while the Disney Plus we pay for, my grandmother has it, and so does my uncle. The Netflix, my uncle has it. We all have it. Like it's just the whole like system, and we all like share because it does get really expensive. Like you want one show, but it's on this one, but then this one. It's insane. Like I can't keep track. Like when I thought Euphoria was out, at first I thought it was on Hulu. I was like, yay! Now I'm like, it's on HBO Max. I'm like, which one of us is gonna buy that now? Like there's just so many things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keep track.
yeah, I totally agree with you.
It's crazy. It's a lot to keep. It's a lot to keep in track too. Like you're trying to watch. You love so many different shows, and some shows are buzzing on one streaming service and one aren't on other streaming services. Like it's tough. It's tough to follow, but I just think as an audience member, it's fun to watch because we're getting all this content. Not you know what I mean?
For sure. For sure. I totally agree with that. All right. Well, moving on to our next little subject here. I did see the news that Michael Keaton will be returning as Batman. Oh my gosh. Max, do you remember what year it was when his last Batman movie came out? It was the 90s.
So 89 was the first one, and the second
Yeah.
one was 91. So
Yeah.
yes,
So
91.
he hasn't been Batman since 1991. Oh
Yeah,
my, was that 30 years?
at
Oh
least yeah.
my gosh.
30 years exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
30
yeah.
years on the dot, yeah. So that is incredible to me. I've watched those old Michael Keaton Batman movies. They're hilarious. Honestly hilarious because at this point some of the special effects are laughable. But not their fault, but still. So
Yeah.
so yeah, when I saw this news, it was first reported that he was going to be replacing Ben Affleck as Batman, which I thought was strange and very weird because Ben Affleck is an older take on the Batman, and I can't imagine, they would want to go even older than that and replace him with Michael Keaton permanently. But thankfully, that news was debunked, and the real news is that Michael Keaton will just be playing an extra separate Batman in the Flash movie in just this one film. We only have one film confirmed for him. So, I mean, there could be more in the future, but it looks like it'll just be this one. Probably something similar to if anyone has seen the Into the Spider-Verse movies, where they kind of had all the different Spider-Men coming from different, realities and universes. That's kind of what this Michael Keaton will be like. I think the movie's going to follow the Flash, and since he has incredible speed as a superpower, he's able to, change time by running so fast that he can, jump to different timelines or different realities and the whole multiverse theory. I'm not sure exactly how they're going to use it, but we'll have to wait and see to figure that out. But all I know is that I'm super excited to see Michael Keaton back, and I hope they do it just as kind of homey and you know charismatic as he was in those old 1989 1991 movies. I'm super excited for it. I've never been the biggest fan of Ben Affleck as Batman, so I'm just excited to see someone else put the cape on.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Keaton is my favorite actor. So I really enjoy the first one. I'm not a huge fan of Batman Returns, but Keaton's such a good Batman, and he's gonna play the most unique Batman yet. Just even more of an older Batman than Affleck was playing in Batman v Superman. And he won't be Batman. He'll probably just be Bruce Wayne because of the physicality that the role gives off. But Keaton is such. I watch every movie. I love Michael Keaton. So happy he's back. It's 30 years in the making. People love Michael Keaton. This is one of the more widely received superhero news we've gotten in a long time, that everyone's happy he's coming back. So I'm really excited. Now, Flash movie, I'm not super pumped about. There's so much controversy right now at Warner Brothers and DC that if this movie is right now, there's a lot of backstage, behind the scenes, not great stuff going on. So I'm not super excited for the movie, but I'm excited for Keaton's possibly more than a cameo role in the movie.
Well, yeah, I'm interested about that. Expand upon that a little if you have any extra, information. I'm curious about what have you heard that's going on behind the scenes with the Flash movie and Warner Brothers.
Yeah, well, first of all, a couple of years ago, Ezra Miller has had a lot of controversy. Ezra Miller is playing the Flash, obviously. Yep. There's video of him choking a woman, I think, like 2 years ago, but that has gotten completely forgotten about, which fans are not forgetting about, but the studio is. And then the movie has been rewritten 4 or 5 times. It's had 3-4 different directors already. So it seems chaotic. And then Ray Fisher, who's been playing Cyborg, was written in this movie to be a cameo. He just got written out of the movie yesterday, was the big news. So there's a lot going on with this movie that it keeps getting delayed, and it's a little too chaotic for my liking.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. My gut instinct and gut feeling, we don't know everything behind the scenes that's going on, just part of it. But my gut instinct was that, Warner Brothers was happy with the recent success that they had with movies like Shazam and Aquaman and Birds of Prey, and even both the Wonder Woman movies for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And they were hoping to build off that success, but they're still tarnished by the failures of Justice League and like Suicide Squad and I think Batman versus Superman as well. So it was my opinion that they were going to use this Flash movie to reboot the timeline in the way they wanted. So writing out characters like Ben Affleck, by just saying, oh, when the timeline got reset, some things changed, and one of them is Ben Affleck's no longer Batman, because he doesn't want the role anymore. He wants out. And so they can kind of pick and choose their mistakes and put away the stuff that they don't like and keep the stuff that they do like. So that was my gut instinct on what they were trying to do. I think they just very poorly they've done a very poor job of handling the Justice League. I think they added it far too quickly. I don't know what your opinion is on that, but the Justice League movie released far too quickly. They should have had a bunch of other solo movies first.
These behind-the-scenes stories are pretty terrible for Suicide Squad, the first one, and Justice League. The fact that obviously Snyder had tragedy, which took him off the film, but then they changed the whole film. And then Suicide Squad director came out, and he wants his own cut of his movie because of the way the studio. It feels like Warner Brothers is just handling DC terribly at the moment. as you said, the recent success has mostly been letting these directors have their range, like Patty Jenkins having her do, even having her write Wonder Woman 1984, having James Wan have his own vision for Aquaman. And that's why I'm excited for Snyder Cut. And that's why I'm not excited for Flash, because there's too many voices, there's too many issues behind the scenes with people at Warner Brothers. So I'm just, how can this, if this movie turns out to be good, what a miracle this is, for sure.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping for that, but we'll have to see. We can cross our
Yeah.
fingers, but
Yeah.
not particularly hopeful.
Yeah.
Well, in a little bit more uplifting news, Clancy Brown, this actor, you may know him as Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob, has been cast in the Dexter revival that Showtime's doing. I am so excited. If you've watched this podcast before, I am the most diehard Dexter fan there is. Everyone here knows it, especially Lauren. I'm a diehard Dexter fan. I bleed Dexter. Um, and I am so excited to see Clancy Brown in this. He's a great actor. Um, he's playing. We don't know too much about his role. We know that he's playing the character of Kurt Caldwell. And other than that, there's speculation. I think that he's going to be like a sheriff in this town. Dexter spoilers, but guys, Dexter spoilers. So at the end of season 8 of Dexter, Dexter himself is marooned. I don't know if necessarily marooned is the right word, but he's on an island. Yeah, self-isolated. Kind of in where was it again? Oh my gosh, I totally forget.
Bumble.
Yeah, some weird place. Like he's in like he's like a lumberjack now. In like it looks like he's in like I don't know. Hold on, I'll figure it out. But he's kind of isolated himself from his family and he faked his death. So now he's like a lumberjack in this like random place where no one knows who he is and no one knows anything about him. So now they're introducing this character, Kurt Caldwell, who is supposed to be maybe the sheriff of that town, and he's kind of a hard ass character who sort of you don't want to get on his bad side type of person. So yeah, that I'm looking forward to it. I'm super excited, and I really can't wait to see more about this character.
I think Dexter will kill him.
That certainly seems to be the theme of Dexter.
And I want, like, in the room with like the kill room, I want a photo of Mr. Krabs hidden somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah, like we walk in, the camera pans into Kurt Caldwell's house, and like SpongeBob's on the TV or something.
Yeah, if they do an Easter egg, I would lose my mind. That'd be so fun. And it's also like it's not like SpongeBob's that far off from Dexter. Like he goes to the ocean a lot.
That is facts. That's facts. Dexter dumps his bodies of his victims in the
and
ocean.
then Bikini Bottom, they're gonna discover these bodies. They're gonna do a collab episode, SpongeBob and Dexter.
SpongeBob murder mystery episode.
Dun, dun, dun.
As I said, I should be a writer. I should write.
Yes, you need to be the writer. Yes. But all right, enough about my obsession for Dexter. Gabrielle, I know you had some stuff you wanted to talk about to us, especially the Promising Young Woman review. We need to hear it. Let's hear it.
Oh my god, I could talk about this movie probably for like a good 3 hours, but we don't got that kind of time here. So, Promising Young Woman, I saw that in theaters this past weekend, and oh my god, everything about it was so amazing. So last week, I know I said my friend went to see it and she didn't like the ending, but spoiler alert, just a little bit. I thought the ending was so true to Carey Mulligan's character. Carey Mulligan played Cassandra Thomas and Cassie. So the whole like thing of the movie, pretty much, it was like Cassie lost her best friend Nina, and this movie was very deep. Her friend Nina, who ended up killing herself, was raped. And it was a whole big thing. So now Cassandra, Carey, same person, they play the same thing, is now on this like revenge mission to like find these boys and like teach them a lesson. She goes to the bar and acts super drunk, and she gets like taken home by these guys, and she sees like how they act towards her, and finally she's like, excuse me, like, hi, this is not right, and this kind of thing, and she teaches them a lesson, and like hopes that these boys won't do it anymore. And then she meets this guy who worked at the same school that she worked at when she dropped out, and they meet up and she's falling in love with him, and it's all really kumbaya until he mentions the person who raped her best friend Nina. And now it's a whole revenge thing. There's 5 people and that she's targeting revenge on, and it's this whole series, and it's so well thought out, it's so well executed, and you can see like Cassandra's mental health really shine throughout this whole thing. And towards the end, she goes after the guy who raped Nina, and she tries to go after him and kill him, and in the end he kills her. Like I said, spoiler alert, but it was so true to her character to end up dying, honestly, to go be with Nina. And of course that after she dies, it's not the end. So it was absolutely amazing. Like, Carey Mulligan played Cassandra Thomas so well. It was a phenomenal movie. It's definitely like one of my top 10 movies of all time, which says so much, but that movie really like made me feel so powerful in the end. I came out of that movie theater, blasted my music. I was like, I'm ready to go kill people! Even though you can't go kill people. Don't kill people. But no, that movie.
But do seek revenge.
Yes, like I needed to go like get revenge on somebody who hurt me. But no, if you haven't seen the movie, I just gave you like the whole plot basically. I 1,000% recommend seeing that movie. Oh my god, it's so good. So good.
Awesome, yeah. I gotta tell you, I was really surprised as you described that movie, the way that kind of turned. You know, seeing the title "Promising Young Woman," was not what I expected at all.
It's like the opposite of clickbait.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, I went into this movie seeing the trailer. The trailer did not do this movie justice. I thought she was just gonna go to the bar, maybe like kill the guys who took her home. I wasn't really sure. No, this movie was not what I was expecting. I absolutely loved it. Like I said, I could talk about it forever. We could debate it. My friend was like, I wanted to see the end to be even more dark than it already was. Like, she ends up having like kids and then finds out that, I don't know. You have to just see the movie and then we can talk about it because it's so good. It's like top 10 list of all time favorite movies, which says a lot because it's hard to get up there for me. So.
And you said the protagonist gets murdered?
Yeah, she ends up getting killed.
What did you mean by that's not the end?
So after she gets killed, she was like, just in case I do get killed, she sent a letter to her father in the mail. She had text messages ready to be sent, like, to people, and then eventually, like, when the father gets the letter in the mail, it's like, look, if I don't come back in this amount of days, give this and my cell phone. And she tells them where her car is, where her phone is, all this stuff beforehand. And then the cops end up showing up and arrest them all. And it was
nice.
As soon as you said she had a letter in the case of her death, I'm just getting Shawshank Redemption vibes.
Interesting. I was getting 13 Reasons Why references, like the whole like starting off with the rape, which leads to the suicide, and then like leaving some literature behind.
Yes, that's actually like exactly what it is in movie form, and it was, oh my god, like I had chills watching that movie. I was in the movie theater and like I was one of the only other people in there. There was like an older couple in there as well. I had to like physically restrain myself from like not screaming at the movie screen. I was like, oh my god, I was eating popcorn. I was like, oh my god, like it was so good. Ugh.
I think if the movie's that good, you're just allowed to talk. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, there should be a rule of like, if it's really that good, then you should be allowed to just say whatever you want.
I was really close to, especially because I'm really animated, I'm really loud, and I like to talk a shit ton. I was sitting there and I was like, biting my popcorn, like, don't talk. Like, it was so good. But if you haven't seen it, like, wow, I just pretty much spoiled the whole movie. You need to go watch it for yourself. Like, I can't talk about it enough.
I think
I love the raving review.
I think movies, yeah, absolutely. I think movies need to add a little break in between where you can just give your applause or just freak out and yell at the movie. So
I was one of those white people at the end when the movie ends. I sat there and clapped, but I was like, "This was amazing!" And then the two people just looked at me like, I was just
At
like,
least it wasn't a plane landing.
yeah. But no, it was so good. So you seriously like just need to watch it. That's all I can say. Like you need to watch it and experience it for yourself because the title was not what I was expecting. The trailers, not what I was expecting. This was 10 times better than what I was expecting.
So what would you title it?
Ooh. That's a really good question. Honestly, I would
unfortunate young woman. That's what we.
Honestly, like I would keep the title because it kept me like on my toes, like, oh, where's like promising young woman gonna come in? And it kind of did, but like kind of didn't. And so like I would keep the title honestly. Cause like I feel like if I named it like Revenge, like that's too obvious. Or like Dark Young Woman. Like what? Like I don't know. But no, Promising Young Woman I think is a good title because like the character Nina, we don't ever meet her. She's only ever talked about, but Cassandra, you can just see how close they were. Like in every little thing, like they have friendship necklaces. One of them says Cassie, one of them says Nina. She switches on and off wearing them, and that's something I picked up on the movie. So sometimes she'll wear the Cassie one, sometimes she'll wear the Nina one, and that's a big symbol throughout the entire movie, like even to the very end. So
That's really cute, the little necklace switch. It kind of reminds me in Broad City, there's an episode where she changes what her hat says.
Yeah, no, but every actor or actress that was in this movie that played each role perfectly. Like there was not one character that I would change.
Nice.
Yeah, and that says a lot because movies are really hard to get on my top 10 list, even though they're mostly Disney movies. But this one is definitely up there. It's definitely like top 10.
It's because it involves a little murder. You can't get that in the Disney.
God,
They don't
I
have
love
good murder. You know, it keeps things interesting.
You're absolutely right. Murder definitely, like I was not expecting that ending, but it was very true to Cassie's character to end up dying, honestly. So.
All right. Well, with that being said, that has been our New Year's special for the movie Mafia. I am so excited. Can't wait to the next episode, guys. All right. Thank you all for watching. We will see you in the next episode. That's all from us at the movie Mafia. Peace.
Peace.